In a few minutes, Kwaidan, a Japanese film based on 4 ghost stories evoking haunting images of samurais, sea battles, courtly ritual and love betrayed. First, a look at the weekend weather with Peter Cockroft.
A very good evening to you and welcome again to Weatherview. Some very wet, some very windy weather for Scotland tonight. The reason why? Well, it's this area of low pressure and this waving front, and look at these very tightly packed isobars. In the next 24 hours, that low moves northeastwards and that weather front sinks southwards across Scotland. But notice how those tightly packed isobars still there, so staying very windy. Now, this afternoon's satellite sequence shows up the cloud on that weather front quite nicely, and you can see quite a thick patch here beginning to move in towards Scotland, and that's that wave that I showed you earlier on. It's picked up quite nicely on the computer sequence. You can see it just here, and if I run the sequence, you'll see how that rain pushes in across Scotland, down across Northern Ireland, and down into the northern part of England by the end of the night. It's not only wet, it's going to be windy too. Some quite very strong winds, southwesterly winds, battering the coasts of the Western Isles and the Northern Isles as well, and over the Highland of Scotland. So in the west it's going to be a fairly cloudy night and therefore quite a mild night, the temperature only dropping to around 14 to 16 Celsius. In the southeast though, where we've had clearer skies today, I think probably a little lower, 11 nearer the mark, and we might see some mist and patchy low cloud by the end of the night. Then on to tomorrow, and we'll have a band of cloud and rain gradually edging southwards across the northern part of the country into the Midlands, probably clearing Scotland by mid-afternoon. Brighter weather coming in, but some quite beefy showers up in those Western Isles, perhaps even the odd rumble of thunder. It's going to be bright and warm in the southeast again, although I don't think there'll be as much sunshine there as there's been today. So that's where we're going to see the top temperatures, up to around 22 Celsius, cooling off as you move into the more showery northwest. Now for Sunday, that weather front continues to move southwards, probably not getting as far south as the very southern counties before it'll start to move back northward yet again. So the picture for Sunday looks like this. We're going to have a band of thicker cloud running across the Midlands. To the south of that, rather brighter weather, and brighter weather to the north. Probably the best of any sunshine likely to be over Scotland, but there will be some showers around and they'll tend to die out during the course of the day. Now let's look further afield for the weekend across Europe, and there's some quite hefty showers showing up in the Tyrrhenian Sea here. If I run the sequence, you can see how they're swirling around, affecting Rome, Pisa and across to the southern coast of France. And that's very much the scene certainly for Saturday, those thundery showers hanging around there. Incidentally, temperatures are holding up quite well in much of the Mediterranean for this time of year. Further north, there's a band of brighter weather, and then we get into that rather windy, showery weather over the UK and indeed over parts of Scandinavia. And the picture for Sunday, well, that rather unsettled weather moving east, those thunderstorms still in the central Mediterranean with sunshine either side of them. There's the summary for Europe for the weekend. Just a reminder, though, if you want a detailed forecast for your area in the British Isles, why not give BBC Weather Call a ring? You'll find details of the phone numbers on the letters page of the Radio Times. Good night.
This is Japan.
Today, the world's most dynamic economic force. A society seemingly Western on the surface, yet deeply rooted in Eastern tradition.
Japanese isn't really so much just a language as a whole way of thinking, way of feeling, really a way of being.
An introduction to the Japanese language and people, starting tomorrow at 6 on BBC2.
And we continue our Made in Japan season now on BBC2 with Masaki Kobayashi's Oscar-winning film based on 4 ghost stories by the American scholar Lafcadio Hearn, who settled in Japan, immersing himself in the country's history and traditions. Kwaidan.